Instagram. Hey, hey, hey. I can remove that scroll for now. Okay. I'll set this over here. That way we can type in as we need to. Okay. What's going on, everybody? Hey, hey, hey. Happy Thursday. Welcome, welcome. I'm going to give you guys just a moment to hop on in. Let me tell you, as you are coming in, who this live stream is for. So many events have been moved online because of the good old coronavirus pandemic. And I say that facetiously, but of course, we're praying for everyone that is being impacted. And so I wanted to take a moment for all of us who are having to move. I know that some events have been canceled. Some of them have just been moved online. And so my heart is to share all the nuggets that I have. I've been in this online space for years and years and have had an opportunity to learn from the best and really master hosting online events and also live streaming. There are going to be some things that are going to be talking. So for those of you who have ministries and you're going to be live streaming, there are going to be some things that are going to be for you. For those of you who are hosting workshops and conferences and any type of virtual event, this is also going to be for you. Okay. So I'm going to take a moment and I'm going to share this out a couple places, and I would certainly love for you to do this as well. If you know someone, or you are someone who has events and conferences and all of these different things that are being moved online, if you're someone who realizes that you need to now learn the online space, I'm going to definitely invite you to be a part of this conversation. Okay, so let me give just a couple quick moments while I share this out, and then we're going to dive right into it. I got a lot of nuggets for you guys today because there are so many things that makes online events thrive, and I really, really want to cover them with you. All right, come on, internet. I realize that we're all online right now, and so the good old internets are moving a little slower than we would like. But okay, here we go. So, all right, Instagram family, give me 1 second while I share this video. This is very interesting because I'm having to just keep moving. Okay, share. Okay, great. And then I'm also going to share this with, we're almost there, guys. We're almost there. Okay, here we go. This is so funny. Okay. If you are arriving to the chat, I'd love to know what online events you are either getting ready to host or be a part of. That would be phenomenal because I'd love to give you some nuggets specific to your upcoming event. Okay, let's go ahead and dive right on into this conversation, shall we? So here we go. All right. For those of you who are new to me, maybe somebody shared this video, you stumbled upon this video. Let me not assume everybody knows who I am. My name is Tiffany Bethia. I am the founder of Kingdom Boss, a mastermind community for Christian entrepreneurs, authors, and speakers. And it is my absolute passion to help you stand in not only your gifting, but what you're anointed to do in your business and to create a profitable Christ-centered brand. And I am also a best-selling author, a speaker, online certified digital total marketing nerd. And I have been in this online space specifically with digital marketing and online events for over 10 years. And so this is one of those times where, I was just on the phone with a client this morning, and we were just talking about the fact that this is the moment for those of us who really own this online space to really be sharing and giving you guys value, because for so many people, they've dabbled with online, but never had an opportunity to truly master and learn it. And so you're seeing it impact so many things. You know, the client I was just talking to is a realtor, and she was talking about hosting her first live event with clients, and she's in real estate. And so I want you to understand that this crosses many industries, many types of businesses and ministries, that if you were not already being consistent and intentional about the online space, this conversation is really for you. Now, I want to acknowledge all of my replay viewers. I know that many of you are homeschooling like I am. You're going to hear my little coworker in the background making some noise. He's finishing up art class. It's going to be lunchtime soon, and so you'll hear some noise from my little coworker. So many of you may be watching the replay, and I want to shout you out. Give me a hashtag replay. Let me know you're here. But if you are having to shift more into the online space than you've ever done before, or if you are someone who has used the online space, but you've never really mastered it, and you know you want to get better at it, because for right now, it's going to be the main way that you're connecting to your clients, to your customers, to your members, then I want to give you some very practical nuggets and tips. This is stuff that normally would be a paid workshop, okay? But I'm coming here and giving this to you guys for free. So I really would encourage you to pull out a notepad, take some notes, whatever you need to do, okay? So I got my notes here, and let's dive on in. First of all, one of the things I want to say to you is that while many of us prefer in person for various things, online events can also be massively successful and impactful, right? And so one of the things I was talking to my client about earlier, and she was saying how her ministry really kind of newly online, and there were people from all kind of countries watching because someone that they knew had shared it. And so the reach is the increased reach is a really, really huge benefit for, you know, going online. And so one thing I will say is that there's so many different types of technology. Don't let the technology cause you to have fear. If you're someone who's like, I'm not, you know, the biggest techie, take a breath. Relax and get someone who can assist you with learning the basic steps of whatever platform that you're going to use. A lot of us have been using Zoom or going directly through Facebook or Instagram or YouTube. And so get someone who can kind of walk you through the steps. Most of the platforms are incredibly similar in terms of how you set up and manage your online event. Okay. So I'm going to break this down in 3 terms. We're going to talk about pre-event. What do you need to do before you live stream? We're going to talk about during the event. What are some things you need to be doing right during? And then we're going to be talking about post-event. What are some things that have to happen after your event to make sure that it is successful? Okay. So let's go ahead and dive right into this thing. Okay. So we're talking pre-event, and this is as you are getting ready to host your event. I have a cough drop in, guys, because I do have to sing tonight. And so I'm like, since I'm not resting my throat, let me at least give it some care. Okay. So pre-event, come on, notes, stay with me. Pre-event. The first thing that I want you to do, okay, is regarding your registration. How are people accessing your live stream? Even if it's something as simple as for my ministry, come on, Cheryl. A lot of people have fear of tech. So many people have fear of tech. And that's why I want to really give some nuggets to that. I'm telling you, it's so real. So here we go. Pre-event. Registration is going to be super, super important. And that may be detailed, and it may be super simple. It could be as simple as just them clicking on a public page to watch. It could be a little bit more detailed as far as them needing to join a specific group or using Zoom. You may have multiple options. And so what I want you to do is make sure that as you are promoting your live stream event, that people know how to find it and how to access it. Okay. If they are registering on Zoom, talking to somebody about this, if they're registering on Zoom, make sure that they know when to click the link and where to get there. Also, what I encourage you to do is make sure, no matter what platform you use, that there is an email reminder with links to the session. You're going to want to have multiple ways for people to be able to find your online event. It's going to be simple to you, but for someone else that may be confusing, they may have come here to register. They may have saw the flyer here, whatever. They need to know exactly where to go during the actual live event. And so make sure that you're emailing them that, you're spelling it out, even if it's just the day of, that you're saying this is where you will actually watch the live video. Okay. Now, one quick thing I want to also drop a nugget about is that for those of you, yours is a workshop, a webinar, an online conference. One of the things that gets missed the most, one of the opportunities that is missed the most is taking advantage of your thank you page. Many platforms that you use are going to offer you a standard thank you page that literally just says, thanks, you signed up. But that is prime real estate when it comes to, you know, that pretty much everybody who registers is going to see this page. And so there are a couple of things I recommend that you do to maximize your thank you page. Okay. One of them is, again, sending them some notes about what's next. You would be so surprised that people every step of the way just need to know what's next. And so giving some language or some verbiage that says next you'll receive an email, or click here to go join our group, letting them know what is happening next is going to be really, really important. All of my thank you pages always tell people, thanks for registering. Now do this. Meet me in this group, or watch your emails. I'll be sending out more information so people don't feel confused and you don't lose that steam from the time they register till the time they're supposed to actually show up. Okay. So take advantage of your thank you page. Now, if you also have ebooks and programs and low-level, you know, tripwires, as many of us know them. If you don't know what a tripwire is, we're going to have to talk about that on a whole nother live, okay? But having your tripwire is another way to really, really take advantage of your thank you page. And so all of my thank you pages usually have some kind of discount for a book, or, you know, an e-course or something that I offer to keep them engaged between now and when the live session actually takes place. And so, yes, it becomes extra revenue. I love seeing that come in. But it also is another way to provide value and to keep people engaged between sign up and go live. All right. So maximize that thank you page. Really think about, what do people need to know between now and when they get started? And how can I not just literally say, thank you for joining on the thank you page? Okay. The next thing I want to give you, this is still pre-event. We haven't even gotten to the live event yet. Okay. We're still pre-event, is send reminders. Send reminders. Be very intentional. I know you feel like you don't want to bother them. People are getting 1 million emails, and they are. We're all getting, I mean, every company is sending us, some of these companies, I'm like, I do not need to know what your COVID-19 policy is, but we are getting a lot of emails, and yet I'm still seeing incredible open rates. People still care about information that's valuable. And so if they've signed up for your live Bible study or your webinar, or whatever you're offering, send them reminders. They've got so much going on. They're homeschooling, they're cooking and working from home, or still working, or whatever they're doing. And so send them reminders, let them know. In particular, what I recommend is, on the day of, I want you to send 3 emails. Now, I know somebody said, what? I'm not emailing them 3 times. Yeah, you're going to email them 3 times. Okay. The first email is in the morning, just to say, hey, we're going live. Today's the day. Well, if you're doing a conference and it's a full week long, then you'll be saying, hey, we're kicking it off today. Okay. And so that's going to be the heart behind your message first thing in the morning, just as a reminder, so people can put it on their radar that, oh, that's right, that's taking place today. Okay. The second email midday around lunchtime is going to be the message where you let them know and remind them of why they're showing up today. Hey, can't wait to see you on the session tonight. Don't forget, we're going to be covering bullet point, bullet point, bullet point. Now, here's a cheat code. Something that I normally do when it comes to that midday email, is I literally copy and paste language directly from my either sign up page or whatever my marketing language has been. So don't make something up. Don't make the work harder for yourself than it has to be. Whatever you told them on the registration page, here are the bullet points, here's what you're covering. Grab a few of those, expound on them, really, really remind them of why you want them to actually show up. Okay. And then the last email is going to be 30 minutes to an hour right before. I've played around with both. Sometimes I do an hour. Lately, I really prefer to do like 30 minutes to say, hey, I'm going live now. Join me. Okay. So this is pre-event. Remind people, remind. Think about all the stuff that you wanted to do. And then you just forgot. And then you saw that, oh, snap, they went live. And you're like, man, I meant to be there. Okay. And it's not going to mean that you're going to have 100% attendance, but it does mean you're going to catch some people who genuinely want to be on. What is happening? There we go. I'm getting my notes together, y'all. It does mean that you're going to catch some people who really intended to be on and may have forgotten, but you were able to remind them. Okay. So send those reminders day of. And if you are doing a virtual conference or something that is multiple day, then I would recommend maybe that first day going hard with the 3 emails. Every other day, I'd recommend just doing 2, 1 in the morning saying, hey, we can't wait to see you. Here's what we're talking about today. And then 1 an hour, 30 minutes before saying, hey, don't forget, we're getting ready to go live. Okay. Pre-event, send out a schedule. Let people know what time, what day, when is everything taking place. So you have multiple speakers. Do you have multiple presenters? The chances are, if you do, and they've marketed it as well, their audience is going to want to know, when are they live? So it'd be a good idea to say, like, I know a community I'm part of just did a live stream for like 4 hours straight and had 4 different speakers. And so they let us know this person's speaking at this time, this person is speaking at this time, so that if I really can't stay on for the entire thing, I know I want to hop on for this particular segment. And you're going to get more people who will tune in because you sent out a schedule. Okay. If it is only an hour, you want to send that out. You want to just let people know what's happening and exactly when it's happening. Okay. This one is right here is really important. We're still pre-event. Make them aware of the replay details. I could have probably also worded this, uncover the replay mystery, because sometimes replays are such a mystery. You guys ever signed up for something or just wondered, is there going to be a replay for this? And you just didn't know. Here's why that's really important. Okay. A couple of reasons why you want to make sure that you are sharing your replay details. Number one, when people sign up, sometimes they are aware of whether or not they can actually hop on live or not. I have registered for webinars where I knew I have a meeting at this time. I totally cannot be on live, but because they said, if you can't make it live, we'll send you a replay, I went, cool, and I still signed up. And if I wasn't sure about the replay, I possibly wouldn't have signed up. They wouldn't have been able to get my email and continue to communicate with me. Okay. Then another flip side of that coin is that there are times in our businesses for various reasons where there is not going to be a replay, right? I know I've recorded lead magnets that way where I did it live, but then I wasn't going to leave it up on Facebook. And so it created a different sense of urgency that if your audience knows there isn't going to be a replay for this, I'm going to literally record this and pull it down in a day or two. Then some folks who might have kind of had something else to do, but it's something that could be flexible, will move those things out of the way so that they can show up live for your event. Then another side of this coin, I guess this isn't a coin if it has more than 2 sides, right? But another point to this is that, is there a paid replay? Sometimes people will record a web conference or whatever it is, and then now the replay is something that you can purchase. Is that something that you're doing? So whatever your plan is with the replay, make sure that you let people know so that they can make the choices that they need to make about showing up live and registering and accessing the recordings if that's something that you have set up, okay? So yeah, replay is a big deal. You really need to let people know what's happening with that. Okay. And then the last thing I would say is also making people aware of whatever technology that you're using and whatever tech gaps are necessary. So what do I mean by that? If you're using Facebook Live, let people know. Like I've been sending out emails. My ministry has been doing a Bible study and prayer online. And so many of our members do not have Facebook. And so I've been letting them know in the email, spelling it out, saying, you do not have to have a Facebook account to view this. Okay. So I want you to keep in mind your audience and where they may be when it comes to technology, and giving them whatever nuggets are needed. If you're doing something via Zoom, and you know people haven't, somebody that is registering has not used Zoom consistently. Yes, I know it's 2020. I know we are all in the house, but somebody has still not used Zoom, okay? And not consistently enough to be comfortable with it. I have clients that have Zoom with me every month and still every month be like trying to figure it out. So give them some instructions. Typically, I'll say in my emails, if you have not used Zoom before, give yourself an extra 5 to 15 minutes to get set up and work out the kinks. Because if you start at 8 o'clock, you don't want to have half of your audience or a good portion of your audience 20 minutes just figuring out Zoom and missing your content. And trust me, it happens. Okay. So all of this is pre-event, really, really removing barriers out the way so that people are able to get on into your virtual room, wherever you're set up, and enjoy your content. Okay. So let me run through those pre-event ones again. Okay. The first one was registration. Make sure you're sending them links to where they can access the session. Make sure you're maximizing your thank you page. Make sure you are sending reminders, 3 reminders on the first day, on the kickoff, or if it's that day, and then 2 for the rest of the day. Okay. Sending out your schedule, making them aware of the replay. Don't make the replay a mystery. Okay. Seriously, God works in mysterious ways, but your online event shouldn't. Okay. And let your audience know what they need to be prepared for when it comes to the technology. Okay. Now, let's talk about during your event. This is really key. Okay. This is really key. So during your event, now there are some benefits that you cannot duplicate of being in person. Okay. However, there are some ways that you can absolutely keep the energy in your virtual room up. And we're going to talk about ways to really master the experience so that your online event and your live stream goes off with the hitch. Okay. So here's the first one. The first one is their actual arrival. Their arrival. Prepare for their arrival to the room. So what I recommend is having on some music to set whatever energy you need set. If I'm hosting a prayer call, I'm going to have some worship music playing. If you're hosting something and you want the energy high, you may have some good high energy music going, you know? So be very intentional about the atmosphere you're setting, just like hopefully you would do in a room. You can still do that in your virtual room. Okay, so setting the atmosphere. The second thing is having a welcome screen. This is so important because you're just always going to have people who are on super early. I don't care what webinar, live stream, whatever I host, unless it's my podcast, because that's a little different. But as far as like my webinars and teachings, there's always somebody on super early. There's somebody who was like, let me just log in. Let me just make sure I know what I'm doing. I'm going to just be here 10 minutes early or 5 minutes early. Okay. And so I like to have something on that just basically says welcome, lets them know we're going to be getting started in a few minutes. If there are any other instructions that you want them to do, introduce themselves, put their lines on mute, grab a pen, grab their conference booklet, anything that you want them to do. And before you actually get started, again, it's like that thank you page. Don't miss the opportunity of the first 10 minutes where, you know, let's say your event starts at 8 o'clock. Somebody's going to be logged in at 7:50. Okay. A few somebodies. How can you take advantage of making sure that they are prepared. And then as people come in, that those instructions are already there. Okay. So don't let people have to figure out what's going on. Have something there, be intentional about their arrival. Okay. Now, after that, what I would also say is that when you get started, give yourself some lag time. Some lag time. You've got to give at least a good 5 minutes for people to just get in the room. People are logging on. People are going to find the link. People are telling the babies to be quiet. They're muting. They're getting situated. They're getting settled. And so if your event starts at 8 o'clock, people shouldn't log in at 8:02 and you're in the thick of your content. You need to give people time to arrive. And again, if you were in person, you'd do the same thing because you'd have people, you have to pull them from the hallway and people would be using the bathroom. So this is not something that's just unique to an online event. But sometimes with online, because we can't see everyone, it's harder for us to make those natural adjustments, okay? And so be intentional in your mind about saying, I got to give some lag time. Let me give a good 5 minutes. Now, what I also like to let this time double as is my icebreaker. So again, I need to set a certain atmosphere and energy in this virtual room. And so this is a good time to have me have people asking questions. I'll ask people where they're from, and maybe I'll ask them about what they're hoping to learn or to gain. If it's, your ministry's Bible study, you may want to ask, are there prayer requests? What scriptures are you guys standing on? Make the conversation relevant to your session and to what you're doing. But by all means, take advantage of the time that you got to kind of wait for people to get in there. Don't let it just be silent. Don't let it be this anxious moment. Be very intentional about making it a time where people are getting even more excited about the content that you're about to share. Okay. So prepare for your lag time, have an icebreaker, have a way to keep that energy great. All right. Now, once you do get started, okay, this is going to be so simple, but be yourself. Be yourself. I see people all the time. They're in person, it's a wonderful energy, but they hop behind the camera and something happens. They become like a shell of themselves. I know that seeing people really helps for your energy. So let me tell you this, guys. Many of you know, some of you know, I'm a worship leader. And so, of course, because of this pandemic, this was the first Sunday that we live streamed and there was no live audience. None. I was singing to the camera. First time ever. And so that was difficult, right? It was super difficult, but I had to still press in and do what I normally do. And so I fully understand that this is very different than in person, but you don't want to show up robotic or stiff or unnatural. Be you. And I know that takes time. And what I would encourage you to do is just practice, do maybe smaller sessions with people who can give you some feedback. And the more you do it, the more comfortable you will get. But you do want to be yourself. You do want people to still experience a good energy from you like they would in person. Okay. So this next one is something that I learned. This is not something you may automatically know. And I want you to write this word down. Okay. I want you to have a parrot. Parrot. I'll say that again. Parrot. What are you talking about, Tiffany? If you are hosting a live event, you are hosting a virtual conference, right? Even for the ministry, I did this the other day. We were hosting online prayer and Bible study. And so the parrot is someone that you have pre-selected who is going to comment and type in the important things that you want people to remember as you are teaching. Okay. And so what do I mean by that? When I was in the room parroting, when my pastor did a virtual altar call, okay, and then she said, if you prayed this prayer, I want you to type in or send us an email to info at I typed that in and I pinned that comment from the official page. So it didn't look like it was just from me. It was from the official page. And so why is that important? you're going to get people who will make, let's say you have 3 points. And so you'll get people, somebody even now could type in, during event, but it's very different when you have someone intentionally doing so and from the official page, because you're going to see that that's going to get more attention. And so I recommend that you pre-select someone who will have access to the official page and who will be able to post as the official page. And every time you say something that's important that you need your audience to remember, they're going to type that in for you and pop that up. And that's called parroting. It's a very small thing, but it's something that when it's missed from a live event, it's really missed. And this is how you know it's missed, because you'll hear people say this: somebody type that in the chat for me. Personally, it's not that I hate that. I'm not gonna say I hate that, but what I recommend to alleviate the whole somebody type that in the chat for me, what you do is you select a parrot. I've done it for many events where I had to come in the room and literally parrot. And you see where it gets the name parrot from, because as obviously the bird, you say something and they go, rah, rah, So that's literally what you would be doing. You would be the tech parrot. Okay. Really, really small thing, but really makes a huge difference. Excuse me, guys, using this voice so much lately. Whew. But so select a parrot and make sure that it's someone who knows, who understands your flavor. But I would also say this: be intentional with your parrot and let them know if there are specific things that you're going to want them to repeat. Make sure you tell them that. Okay, so that they will know, because you don't want it to be overly done. You just want someone who will grab the important things and post those up. Okay. And then the last one is managing your interactions and your comments. Comments are wonderful. They make us all feel like we're a part of the conversation, but every now and again, some of them can be distracting. Some of them can be people asking questions when you're not at a point of Q&A yet. And so what I recommend is really managing those, and don't let the comment section just become a free-for-all. Really manage that. If you start to see a lot of questions and you're not at a Q&A point, then say something. Actually say to your audience, hey guys, we see some great questions coming in. I want you to hold those off. We're gonna take care of questions in 30 minutes at the end, or whatever. So manage the comments, manage your commentary, make sure you're giving direction. Is everybody gonna follow directions? Like I know that's not going to happen, but but you do want to at least set yourself up for success by giving those instructions. Okay. So in quick recap, during the event, we talked about arrival. Be intentional about their arrival. Don't just let them show up to anything. Okay. 2, your lag time. Give people time to hop on. Don't just hop on and start talking right away. Okay. And then use that time as an icebreaker. Okay. 3, be yourself. Be yourself. This is me. If you meet me in person, this is just me. I'm colorful. I'm artsy. I sing, talk. This is me. Be yourself. People want that. Okay. Number 4, select your parrot. If you are doing a virtual conference where you have multiple days, maybe select someone different for each day so the person doesn't get worn out, or make sure that person has availability every day, because you want that to be consistent. And then the 5th one was managing your comments and your interactions. I'm almost done, guys. So that was during the event. And now to wrap up, let's talk about post-event, okay? Post-event. Okay. There we go. Okay. So post-event. This one is critical because now, congratulations, you had the event. It was great. How do we keep the momentum going? How do we not lose all that hard work that we just did? Okay. So number 1 is you want to, if you don't already have it pre-scheduled, because maybe you're preparing to flow a little bit, right after your event, you need to send an email as a recap. This is what we talked about. If there were links that you shared, if there was an offer that you made, if there is replay information you need to share, whatever that is, send that email right away. People are freshly excited. They loved it. You kicked it. You knocked it out the park. It was amazing. Don't lose that excitement. Right then and there, you want to get keep their attention. Okay. The second thing is, and you can do this via email or you can do this maybe in the group or whatever, but how will they stay connected? How will we keep that momentum and an energy going? Okay. Again, even if this is a one-time event and you don't have it again until next year, what are we going to do between now and then so you don't have to work so hard to get my attention? How will we keep the conversation going from now until the next thing that you have planned? And so like for me, that'd be my Facebook group. It would have been meeting me at a live event, but the coronavirus thing killed my events for this quarter. But, joining my email list, getting on my CEO list. So whatever those next steps look like for you, make sure that you share them at the end of your event. And then, of course, again, in email, post your event. Okay, letting people know that this is how I want you to stay connected. The other thing I would say, and I didn't have this in my notes, but making sure that you are editing. Go back to your replay. Do you need to edit anything, chop anything, delete anything before you post it or before you share it? Make sure it's crisp and make sure that it's in a quality that you're happy to use again as a replay. Okay. And I think that's something I missed a few years ago. I was looking back at one of my old streams and when I look at the replay, I'm like, man, I wish there were some things I had been able to do differently. And so be mindful of all of that post event, because you still have that opportunity to really capture people's attention before whatever it is that you do. The best marketing for your next initiative is killing it with this initiative. And people do not realize that even just from a marketing standpoint, effort and dollars that it takes to acquire new people is much higher than what it takes to keep the ones you already have interacted with. So when you got them in the room the first time, that was something major that took place. Take advantage of that. Harness that so that you have the ability to get them back in the room next time. Okay, guys? So I hope that this has been helpful for you. Of course, I'm going to take my own advice and recommend that if you are not already on our CEO list, I want you to come on over to kingdomboss.com and do so, where we share all kind of amazing free nuggets and resources and tips. We have our private Facebook community where we do all of these incredible trainings and networking and promotions, and we share much more information like this. And if you know someone who is having to move online, having to start doing more webinars, trainings, a virtual conference, whatever, even if it's a meeting, and you know that they need these nuggets, share this with them. Share this with them so that they can master online events and live streaming. Okay, guys? So thank you so much for joining me for this session. Quick plug. I'm so excited that on next Monday, we're going to be doing the altar. That's our time of worship and prayer for Christian CEOs and entrepreneurs and authors and speakers. And so come on over to kingdomboss.com to learn more about that. Even if you're watching the replay, we're going to be doing this every single month. So just find out when the next one is. And we would love to see you in the room for a time of prayer and intercession and really building up our energy as we continue in the work that we're doing. All right, guys. So thank you so much for joining me. And I cannot wait to hopefully see you on our next live session. All right, y'all. Bye-bye.